Coming to you live from the rinks in Hauppauge, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Final game of a 3-game slate on the North this Friday night. Freezing here in the rinks in Hauppauge, cold outside, but this matchup is set to get heated up between two bitter rivals, KPC and St. Anthony's. And KPC took the first game in this matchup, winning it 6-4. That game back on November the 5th. And this is St. Anthony JV Gold as opposed to JV Black. KPC currently riding a 6-game winning streak coming into this contest against St. Anthony JV Gold. St. Anthony JV Gold had their 5-game winning streak snapped a few days ago, 5 days ago on February 9th. 3-2 loss to East Islip. They had been playing some of their best hockey of the season prior to that. So take a look at the standings. Third place, St. Anthony JV Gold, 12-5 record. KPC 11-6. Not much separates these teams on paper, and have displayed that this season. Just 2 points separating them in the standings, despite there being two teams in between them. East Islip 1 point ahead of KPC with one extra game played. Longwood 2 points ahead of KPC with the same amount of games played, benefiting from 2 ties. Same amount of wins for the Lions. And what should be a great matchup and potential playoff preview of the first round between St. Anthony JV Gold and KPC Kings Park Commack. They were powered by 3 third-period goals in that last meeting against St. Anne's, with DeFeo's game-winning shorthanded goal being the difference. An empty netter helped secure the win for the Knights. Some players to look out for in this matchup. Player who scored that goal, Matthew DeFeo, tied for the team lead in points, but 4 games less played than Kevin Schwartz. He's certainly a player to look out for tonight for the Knights. And up front, Cohen Zikas, 15 points on the year. Matthew Smith, 12 goals, is second most on the team, only 2 DeFeo. For St. Anthony JV Gold, as they get Griffin Gaspar trying to charge the front of the net. He is one of those players to look out for, leading the way for the defense as that shot turned away by the starting netminder tonight for KPC, Christopher Guarneri. Gaetano Cicchino will get the nod in between the pipes for the Friars. He plays it around the boards. Muller keeps it at the near point. That jump the stick of Coletti. Coletti to collect in the far corner. Kept in at the far point by Schwartz. That shot turned away by Cicchino. Another shot on to Cicchino. Save made. Rebound still loose out in front. A backhand flip goes over the net from Manchester. Friars trying to clear the zone and will. DeAndrea unable to get around the stick of the defending KPC Knight. And pardon me, not Manchester, but Watchinger. With that opportunity in the defensive play. Here's a chance. They score! Blasted home by Muller. And St. Anne's take the 1-0 lead. That on their first shot or second shot on goal of the game. Inside the post just by the blocker. Nick Muller from Solis. And it's 1-0 St. A's. Just 2 minutes and 26 seconds into the game. Bamonti to chase it down. Matuza on the forecheck. Here's a turnover. Try to go right back out from Matuza. Backhand shot over the net. Muller, the goal scorer, back to the point. Settled and shot by Monteleone. Glove save made by Guarnieri. So quick start for the Friars. Guarnieri this season has been sharing the net with Grayson Ebley. Guarnieri a .376 goals against average, 5-3 record. Ebley 6-3 record with a .279 goals against average. Leighton Veith look to play it around to Hurlburt. And the Friars varsity team champions in back-to-back years. This is the future of that club, that varsity club. These two JV teams they have, and they're going to have lots of options to replace their seniors. It's Hurlburt, flew it across ice through the stick of Schechter. Here's Gasparek. Turned away by KPC. Smith trying to get it out of the zone. Smith runs into Costanzo, and Costanzo will try to plug it up the far boards. Poked away from Schechter by Smith. KPC are offsides, watching her entering the zone for his teammate Smith. Hurlburt down the near boards and around the net. Jack Hurlburt looking to get to the point. Eventually does find its way there, and a save made. Guarnieri rebound. Schechter off the stick. Plays it to Hurlburt. Hurlburt. Far corner. Up top for Gasparek. Griffin Gasparek wheels middle. Shot blocker save made by Guarnieri. Leighton Veith. Backhands to Schechter. Or, pardon me, that was Jackson Zethner. Previously played for Northport Huntington in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. It's flipped to center ice by Schwartz. A little over 3:30 gone by in this first period. Friars out to the 1-0 early lead. And a good forecheck. Creates the turnover. Long shot from the point. Deflects over the top. Coyle to play it for Kings Park Commack. Around for Belmonte. Belmonte can't clear off a skate. Or right onto the tape of Gikas, and Gikas will cross corner dump. Cecilia in after it as well, but the puck escapes the zone. Coyle with pressure on him. Backhands to safety in the form of Cohen Gikas. Knights trying to get through center ice. Cohen Gikas back with it. Muller scoring that goal for St. Anthony's, his 6th of the season. And an always deep Friar bunch. Coletti over the line, offsides call against St. Anne's. And we get a stoppage with 10:25 to go in the first period. Matuza will take the draw. KPC trying to gain the zone, cannot. Monteleone. His pass intercepted on the far point. Hurlburt deflects one for Matuza. KPC trying to clear the near boards. Goes on goal to Guarnieri, sticks it into the far corner. A roll out of the zone with Schwartz. Here's Matuza. One-on-one with Muller. Matuza to the bracket. What a save made by Guarnieri. And gets a fist bump from Matuza as a sign of respect for that save. Excellent move by Matuza as he was able to get around Jackson Muller. What a glove save by Chris Guarnieri. Face off to the left of Guarnieri, handled by Coyle. Try to clear out the far boards. Smith with it. Wow, for Watchinger. Knights trying to clear. KPC unable to. Good keep in here for St. Anne's. Now the puck back at neutral ice for Monteleone. Banks one to the goal scorer, Nick Muller. Backhand to the front of the net. There was Matuza all by himself and couldn't quite get a clean shot off. Coyle rips it around the boards. Landman and Watchinger to it. Here is Landman. To Watchinger. Drops for Schwartz. Schwartz shot fired wide. Bamonte off the carom to the front of the net where it's cut off by Gasparic. Spinning Matuza. Bamonte holds in at the near point. Coletti gets to it. Coletti for Gasparic. Nudged up the far boards. Matuza as that carry and attempt disrupted by Bamonte. Gets it across to Schwartz, who carries in. Schwartz with Vaith on the back check. Goes down to the ice. Captain Jack Hurlburt backhands around for the Friars. Matuza intercepts the point-bound pass. Floats one in the region of Vaith. Vaith going to work on Gikas. Hurlburt scoops it up. Backhands to Gasparic. Near circle, Griffin Gasparic shot missed high and wide. Coletti keeps it at the far point. A little flip. Kevin Schwartz. Going to exit the zone for KPC. It's intercepted by Coletti. Gets the return pass back from Hurlburt. And Coletti. His dumping attempt goes right off of Landman. And Gasparic able to dump it in the full length. Schwartz to it first. Coletti holds in at the near point. Schwartz again will try to clear and will succeed. Griffin Gasparic. So we're over halfway through this first period. Still 1-0 Friars on the goal scored by Nick Muller. And just a minute and 16 into the game as that shot goes high and wide. Bamonte keeps at the near point. Down the near boards. Another keeping by Bamonte. Here's Smith. Smith on the backhand, shot wide. Cicchino still relatively untested in this first period by the Knights. Outlet pass from Catazone. Kings Park Commack roll back in with Bamonte. Takes a check from Monteleone, centering pass, intercepted. And a good read there by Reeve Chero. Chero trying to cut middle. Stabbed away by Bamonte. Macklin Smith. For Watchinger. Takeaway by Chero, gets around Bamonte. G swoops over. Rims around. Coyle in the area. Coyle in the area of Watchinger. Backhands to Smith. Smith chips it in. Gikas on the forecheck, applying pressure to Monteleone. Gikas sends Monteleone into the far corner. Monteleone never lost his balance. Landman will keep in at the near point, but right onto the tape of DeAndrea, who leads Solis into the zone. And Solis will wrap it around for Matuza at the near side. Collides with Schwartz. 5:40 to go here in the first. Jason Matuza to the front of the net. It's behind Guarnerian. Now it's finally in. That was suspenseful. Wally Mitchell with the excellent look on the camera as the Friars make it 2-0. It goes right between the legs, and it's not over the line. It's not over the line. Oh my goodness, and now it is. Tough break for the Knights and Guarneri. Matuza is credited with the goal. And for Jason Matuza, he increases his team lead in that department from 13 to 14. He also leads the Friars in points, the JB Gold Friars in points, with 22 now. It's got got the puck in the far corner. Chipped ahead by Schwartz. Here's Zethner. Zethner wheels. Darts on in, around the stick of Jackson Muller. To the point. Settled, shot blocked. A good look there for number 3, Nick Neuner, making his debut for the Friars in this contest. JV team, Neuner, a familiar face in this program. Not sure if he played for the freshman team or recognize the name as Matuza plows his way through and ripped one wide. Neuner trying to go to Zethner at the point. It's worked out of the zone by Watchinger. Friars off sides and will be called for it here. With 4:10 to go in the first period, they extend their 1-0 lead. It's 2-0. No Engelhart in this game as he's got the injury designation, and I haven't seen number 87 out on the ice. Coyle. Here's Smith. And in the zone now, backstopped by Michael Coyle. Wraps it around for Matt Smith. Costanza can't get a touch on it. Watchinger had to get by him. Schechter on the forecheck, took it away. Schechter feeds Hurlburt. What a save made by Guarnieri. Great feed by Schechter in front. And Hurlburt turned aside by the Knights' Stendy. Coletti hits the red line. No. Icing against the Friars. There's that chance to make it 3-0 again for St. A's. Starts on the turnover created by Ryan Schechter. And wide open is Hurlburt. And pushing off that left foot, propelling to the front of the net. There for Guarnieri in order to stop Hurlburt. Hurlburt was looking to grab his 13th goal of the season. And a penalty called against St. Anthony's. With 2:47 to go in the first period. Chance to maybe spark some life into KPC as they've been hemmed into their own zone and not able to generate much offensively throughout this first period. They get a look on the power play. The Knights' power play coming into the contest, 10% on the season. The Friar penalty kill, 91.7%. As it's immediately thrust underneath the blocker of Cicchino. He'll cover. Face off again to the right of the Friar netminder. One wrapped around by Zethner. Takes a weird carom foot race. Schechter wins it. Schechter shoots and it just goes wide. Hurlburt trying to pitch it down the far boards. Here's Schwartz. Onside. Over the line. Cuts wide. Backhands around the boards. Hoping to get it over to Matthew Smith. Does. Smith stops up. To the point for Coyle. Back to Smith. Far circle. Smith thought about the shot. Thought about the pass back to the point. Now thinks about shot again. Scores! Matthew Smith with an absolute rip by Cicchino. And that's a Knights power play goal. 2-1. And what a big goal it was for KPC. Like I mentioned, hadn't been able to muster up much offensive zone time or chances in this first period. Cash in on the power play. And now only trail by one. It's a rip from Belmonte. Goes off the end boards wide. Belmonte keeps it in, watching her. Trying to twirl away from the forecheck of Schechter. Belmonte reaches out with the stick, kept it in for a moment. Hurlburt on the follow-up, chips it past Coyle, converges with Vaith, stabs it to Hurlburt. Back to Vaith. Vaith spinning away from Smith on the check of Leighton Vaith. And Smith sweeps it out of the zone. And for Matthew Smith, his 13th goal of the season. Second most on Kings Park Commack. Leader in points and goals, Matthew DeFeo, not in the lineup tonight. Gikas try to hand it back to Belmonte. Under a minute to go now in the first period. Watching her. In strife for Schwartz, who gets around the incoming Muller. Schwartz cutting wide. Challenged by Gasparic. Pass intercepted by Neuner. Neuner banked one ahead. Here's Matuza. Matuza flying in. Takes the shot. A save made, Guarnieri. Check out the speed here of Jason Matuza as he wheels it over the line. Defender back for Kings Park Commack. Trying to cut the ice in half. Still having to make a difficult save there was Guarnieri. Officials ensuring Guarnieri's equipment good to go ahead of this face-off to the right of the aforementioned KPC netminder. 40 seconds to play here in period number one. Muller hands back to Gasparic. Return to Muller. Muller, a wrist shot, glove save made, Guarnieri. And Nick Muller opened the scoring back in the first, back earlier in the first for the Friars. Neuner to the point for Coletti. His wrist shot, blocker save made. Guarnieri, rebound. Matuza jousting with Schwartz in front. Matuza trying to come away with it. Neuner to the front of the net for Schwartz, or pardon me, for Muller. Denied by Guarnieri. The net is off its moorings in such a fashion they simply have to blow the whistle down there, or blow the play down. 6 seconds to go in the period. Matuza, Neuner, Muller the line. Gasparic and Coletti on the back end. Defensive zone draw win, though, by KPC should bring us to the end of the first intermission, and it will, or the end of the first period. The first intermission is upon us, and the Friars, who jumped out to the 2-0 lead, were answered with a KPC power play goal by Matthew Smith. 2-1 after one. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Welcome back here to the rinks in Hauppauge, Suffolk County High School Hockey League JV Division. KPC and Smithtown and St. Anthony JV Gold. 2-1 the Friars on top of the Knights of Kings Park Commack. Catazone through center. Looking for a lane to shoot. Didn't have one. It's back down ice. No icing on the rolling puck. That'll be handled by Monteleone. Sends one off the boards right to Bamonte. His return intercepted by DeAndrea. Swiped away by Bamonte. Shot on goal from neutral ice by Catazone, handled by Guarnieri, who's arguably been the Knights' best player despite allowing 2 goals. Catazone to play the loose puck that just died in the far circle. Has it in behind his netminder, Gaetano Cecchino. Tries to play to Solis. Solis knocked down by Zikas. That'll be a penalty against Zikas. So to the bench goes Cecchino. KPC touch up. The Friars go to their first power play of the night. And the varsity club want to send my congratulations. Back-to-back Suffolk County High School Hockey League champions, defeating Smithtown Hauppauge 2-1 on Wednesday night in a winner-take-all Game 3. They had a 2-0 lead. It was the first multi-goal lead of that series. That's how tight it was. And the Friars proved to be too much for the Bulls in back-to-back years. Chance right out in front for Muller. Couldn't get a full shot through. Catazone to himself in the far half wall. And now Catazone on the back end, watched by Jackson Muller. Sweeps it around for Matuza. Jason Matuza. Try to go up top to Muller. And Anthony Catallo, such a huge part of the Friar varsity success again, and their goaltender. Jordan Valsic, incredible as well. Is Gasparic. They've got a number of goaltenders waiting in the wings. One of them in the pipes tonight in Cecchino. Frank Cadis as well as Cecchino's goaltending mate on JV Gold. A couple of great goaltenders on JV Black as a shot turned aside. Rebound out in front is in the back of the net. Friars score. No one saw it. I didn't see it. It's somewhere in there. Or is it? They're looking for it. What's going on here? No goal. Now no goal is called. I saw the point. I never saw the puck go in. There's the point. And you see the bewildered look on Guarnieri's face like, all right, well, where's the puck? So no goal. There's your weird play of the week. Shot from Catazone goes off the end boards wide. Watching her. Harassed by Schechter. Watching her again. Now Smith collects the loose puck shorthanded for KPC. Still 30 seconds left on the Friars' first power play of the night. And that lift into the zone exits the rink, resulting in a face-off in neutral ice. Got 25 seconds left on the Friar power play. And a little over 3 minutes gone by here in the second period. Bamonte rips around for Sicilla. KPC try to clear, and Landman will on the backhand. Now just 5 seconds left on the Friar power play. They thought they had scored and restored the 2-goal lead until they didn't. Gasparic trying to march into the zone. Huge hit dished out by Bamonte, who's had himself quite the first period, and now second period. Penalty has expired. Friars 0 for 1 on the man advantage tonight. Coletti, as spilling to the ice there was Ryan Schechter. Gets up, here's Hurlburt, and Hurlburt will rifle it in around the boards. Schwartz and Schechter to the loose puck. Cecilla steps to it. Held in at the far point by Jackson Zethner. Zethner gets around a couple before he puts it out in front. Cohen Gikas there to prevent it from getting to a Friar stick. Coyle will flip one out of the reach of DeAndrea, all the way down ice for an icing on KPC. Come on, boys. 10:44 left here in the second period. 2-1 St. Anne's. As in the standings, the Friars, JV Gold, currently third place. Trying to more so hold off the teams behind them and try to catch their brother team, St. Anthony JV Black. Here's Zethner. Harassed by Matthew Smith. Spins away from Smith. Survives the check of Watchinger. Try to bank one to Solis. Here is Smith. He'll wrap one in. Stopped up behind by Cicchino. Coletti avoids a couple of forechecking KPC sticks before banking one to Charo. Charo moves in. It's knocked down. Here's Coletti. Coletti around the net. Sal Coletti off the side of the net. DeAndrea looking to keep in at the near point, covering for his forechecking defenseman. Zethner on the intercept at the red line. Tries to get past Schwartz, goes down to the ice. And Kevin Schwartz back with the puck. Good poke check by Charo. Matthew Smith back with it. Jackson Muller's pass blocked by Nick Muller, and now Charo, a shot goes just wide. Was looking for the far post. Watching her go, tumbles down to the ice. Backhanded in by Reeve Charo. Muller. That's Jackson Muller with two forechecking Friars in the area. Nick Neuner. His feed to the front of the net off a KPC stick. And now plugged toward the front. Handled by Catazone. His wrist shot goes high and wide. Nick Muller toward the front of the net. Good play by Schwartz to intercept. It's punched away from him. And helping it the rest of the way out of the zone was Cohen Gikas. 8:44 to go. Second period. KPC with a 1-goal lead. Shot wide off the tape of Matuza. Cecilla trying to bank one out of the zone. Catazone there. And Anthony Catazone thwarted. Not quite out of the zone. Good keep by Matuza. Gikas fires one in the region of Schwartz, and Schwartz had pulled away and now gets one through the feet of Landman. Puts some pressure on Monteleone, who stabs it up the near side to Nicholas Muller. Muller onside. Cuts wide, fed it to the front, blocked by Coyle. Michael Coyle for Gikas, and I'll just backhand it lately into the zone. Pardon me, that's Cecilla that backhanded it in. Nick Muller drops to Matuza. Matuza over the line, inside, outside. Matuza staying with him every step of the way. Cohen Gikas. Cecilla pressured by Neuner. KPC fire it out of the zone, and Catazone could have played it, so no icing. And Matthew Smith from Michael Coyle on the power play. Made it a 1-goal game for KPC after 2 first-period goals by Nick Muller and Jason Matuza. Solis assisting the Muller goal. Matuza's goal in the books unassisted. They're scoring so far here in this finale on this Friday night. The Rinks in Hauppauge. And they're going to grab an icing here against Kings Park Commack. With 6:50 to go in the second. And a penalty actually called against Leighton Vaith. So he goes to the box. The KPC power play, their only source of offense on the scoreboard tonight, gets a second look. 1-for-1. Schwartz, D to D. Coyle, that pass blocked by the combination of Muller and Chero. Guarnieri out to play it away from the attacking Chero. Schwartz rips it around for Michael Coyle. 20 seconds gone by on the second KPC power play. Coyle fires in. Pinballs around in the area of Schwartz. Kasparek first on it. Coyle at the near boards. Now Smith comes away. Smith to Coyle. Coyle looking for a deflection backdoor. Great play. Great idea. Just missed. He was trying to connect with Watchinger. Taken down by the ghost of the Rinks was Chero. You don't know about the ghost of the Rinks? Offsides are KPC unable to take advantage of the downed Fryer.
Disc is almost full. You want me to delete stuff, Wally? Storage is almost full. Just delete all the previous games. That's fine. There's nothing on there that's important, so just not tonight's stuff.
Apologies, folks. 20 seconds left on the Vaith minor. Penalty for high sticking. Schwartz drops to Matthew Smith. Smith trying to drive toward the middle. Coyle taps on a cross. Now return to Coyle. Wrist shot along the ice. Blocked in front by Zether, who flips out. And now a potential 2-on-0 breakaway. Offsides is called against Vaith. Tough break for St. A's, as it could have been a 2-on-0, could have been a breakaway, and they're going to get neither. That little twirl ahead, just got to be conscious of where you are out on the ice. Coming out of the box. KPC power play 1 for 2 tonight. As is in change the Fryer penalty kill. Under 5 to play in the second period. Shot from Zikas, blocked by Coletti. Zikas will retrieve in behind Catano Cicchino. Fryer netminder, DeAndrea. Lamon spun it away from him. Long shot, flutters wide. Schwartz trying to feed the front of the net. Backdoor potential, now back out for Landman. Save made, Cicchino through all that traffic. Now the other way, Solis. Area pass, trying to lead Chero. A little too far. Now Chero put it out in front off Solis. Covered by Guarnieri. offensive zone draw here for St. Anne's. Shot deflected. Catazone took it. Solis and Chero looking to get a piece of it. KPC trying to clear, held in by Coletti. Long shot scooped up by the glove of Guarnieri. .351 left. Friars leading by 1. Scored the first 2 goals of the game. DeAndrea try to get back to the point. Watching her intercepted. Now is a 2-on-1 with Jackson, with Sattler. Shot for Watching her and a toe save made by Cicchino. Probably his best save of the night thus far. Now Catazone around Coyle, ripped it wide. Great move to get around Michael Coyle, arguably one of the best defenders for KPC. Nothing to show for it. Things opening up potentially. Catazone knocked off the stick by Smith. Cicchino fired it right into Catazone. It went just wide. Gasps from the KPC fans to my right. Coyle banks one to Watching her. Up top for Bamonte. His shot blocked by Muller. Taken over by Catazone. 2-on-2 over the blue line. Catazone trying to go wide on Coyle. Coyle got the puck away from him but couldn't clear it. Ahead to a teammate. KPC breakout now. Landman 2-on-2 with Watching her. And Landman, they say, just barely brought the puck back off sides. 2:45 left here in period number 2. Landman this year, just 1 goal for KPC. In 9 games played. Schwartz to the front of the net, blocked off by Gasparic. Kevin Schwartz, 18 assists, gonna get another. It's ricocheted out in front. Again, Landman in the area. And now right out in the crease area. Near disaster averted by Muller. It's rescued by Gasparic. Griffin Gasparic wheeling in. Tries to feed the front of the net to Nooner. Gasparic twirls. Emerges and shot it just wide, going for the far post. Matuza and Cecilla engaged in a battle. KPC emerged, 3-on-2. No, it's going to be blown dead for a penalty behind the play. Going to get Jikas for a slash, and they're going to pull Muller. So again, another coincidental minor penalty situation that, in this case, benefits St. Anthony's. There's a 3-on-2 rush going on down ice for KPC. That was terminated by these coincidental calls. And we stay 5 aside. Leighton Veith, over Gasparic. Hurlbert, the F1, has it in behind. Try to feed it out for Schechter. Couldn't quite connect. Schwartz to Watching her. Redirects one into neutral ice, where it's handled by Zethner. Zethner fires one for a teammate, missed him, and goes down for an icing against the Friars. $1:35 left here in the second period. And Jackson Zethner previously played for Northport Huntington along with Charles Solis. Says here it's their respective first games played with the club this season according to the stats. Smith trying to get a touch in the slot, couldn't quite do it. Hurlbert to Schechter, has Gasparic creeping in on the near side, trying to get to him, and just missed. Gasparic going to work on Schwartz. Near dot, off the glove of Guarnieri and out of play. What a shot from Griffin Gasparic. And it stopped by the Knights netminder, Chris Guarnieri. Gasparic trying to get goal number 9 of the year. And he leads all Friar defensemen in points with 19. Tied with Reeve Chero for most, or rather second most on the team, all positions for points. Watching her to the front of the net. Stabbed away by Cecchino. Matthew Smith keeps it in the zone for the Knights. Cecchino, 50 seconds to go in the second. Solis intercepted by Matthew Smith, who plays it right back down low. Got his own fires around. Giveaway, watching her. Gets the return pass just ahead of his stick from Smith. Try to get it back out in front to Smith. Knocked away by Solis. Schwartz pinching in. Fed the front, but it was on the backhand for Matthew Smith and banks to center ice. 20 seconds to go in the period. 2-1 Friars. Schwartz for Landman. Back to Kevin Schwartz. Tries to spin him out of trouble. DeAndrea looking to cut middle. Great back check provided by Jackson Muller as the period comes to a close. Two-1 Friars after two. No goals scored in that second period. Just a couple of penalties. Some coincidental, some not. 2-1 after two, third period on its way. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Third period underway. Knights and Friars. St. Anne's with the 1-goal lead. KPC looking to tie the early offensive zone sequence. Michael Coyle looking to get it to the front of the net, but Monty trying to keep it the near point. Knocks down Gasparic. Charo with Solis. Charo wrist shot and a blocker save made by Guarnieri, who has been outstanding tonight in net for KPC. Deflected ahead by Coyle. Gasparic backhands right through neutral ice. Guarnieri stops it. Might have prevented an icing. Out of the reach of Coyle. Charo collides with Watchinger. Watchinger goes down to get his stick while Gasparic moves in on the left wing side with Matuza. Knifed away from Gasparic. Coletti somehow got through to Nooner. Muller, wrist shot wide. Bamonti has it knifed away by Nooner. Coyle to himself down low. Looks to generate the breakout for KPC, and a great pass leads Watchinger. Watchinger with a step. Shoots, and a save made on the side of the net there by the netminder for St. Anthony's, Gaetano Cecchino. Costanzo gonna chip one for Watchinger. Poke just out of his reach by Nooner. Here's Zethner. Picking up speed through neutral ice. Zethner dumps in. Played around by Schwartz to Bamonti. Lost it. Matuza in the far circle. There's a wrist shot through traffic. Save made by Guarnieri. Lead pass denied by Zethner. They're once again trying the home run to Watchinger. Save made by Guarnieri at the other side. Schwartz Stick in the lane from Matuza. Nooner cutting middle, dropping for Muller. Muller playing it to Coletti. Coletti from a tough angle, whizzed through the crease. Nooner with 12:20 to go in the third period. Out of the zone, Zethner to Muller. Opened the scoring back in the first period as he scored his 6th goal of the year. Now has 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points for Muller. Along the near side, try to play out in front. Matuza for Zethner. Right shot defenseman returns it to Matuza. Battling Jackson Muller, try to sweep it in front for Hurlburt. Closed to the boards by Schwartz, who pokes it into open space. Zethner once again holds in at the near point. Kevin Schwartz with another opportunity to potentially generate a breakout for KPC. Flung ahead, handled by Landman. Landman pokes it down the near boards. Matuza backhands in. Bamonte for Landman. Giveaway, Hurlburt, shot, save made, Guarnieri, he holds. Another great stop by Chris Guarnieri. Keeps the Knights within 1. There's another good start to this third period here for St. Anthony's. Held the puck for long stretches in the offensive zone, the best way to protect the lead. Goyle, Cecilia, behind the back for Watchinger. He's had the only great chance in this third period. Now Matthew Smith. Smith goes to retrieve in the near corner. Leighton Vaith. Trying to leak out of zone, out of the zone does. Great pass to Hurlburt, onside play. Hurlburt stops up, try to feed it in front, intercepted by Coyle. Coyle try to get it ahead of Watchinger again, and instead just finds Friars. Intercepted by Cecilia. Trying to wheel into the zone was Matthew Smith. Hurlburt with numbers, 3-on-1. Hurlburt. Pass across, just missed the tape of Catazone. And now could KPC go the other way? No, says Schechter as he backhands down low. Around for Watchinger. Carter Watchinger. Back for Michael Coyle. In the area, Noah Bamonte. Around for Coyle. Watchinger marches in. Cuts middle, wrist shot blocked off. Believe it was Catazone. Going Zhikis knocked to the ice. Muller, D-to-D, Schwartz. Looking to step through, Schwartz. Unable to get around Riefchero. And that fired right into the midsection of Vaith. Catazone trying to drag around Zhikis. Unable to do so, Landman. We get into open space. Coletti got there first for St. A's. Charo sends in. 6 minutes into the third period. Still 2-1 St. Anthony's leading KPC. In a battle between third and sixth place teams respectively as that shot from Coletti goes wide. Gasparic. Gonna work to the front of the net. Spins away, spins again. Griffin Gasparic looking to drag. Gasparic fed it out in front. Missed DeAndrea. Now Chero's shot save made by Guarnieri. Solis gave it up to Schwartz. Schwartz able to get around Solis. Propels himself through neutral ice. Good poke check Gasparic. And Gasparic on the follow-up took it away from Jackson Muller. Can't get around Landman. Pulls it back at the line. Friars touch up. Gasparic toes the line, dumps in. Schwartz to Costanzo, not out. Zethner keeps in. Jackson Zethner in behind. Pops out the other side. Griffin Gasparic fakes. Tries to get around Muller. Muller closes him off. Lamon trying to lead. Jikas out of the zone, just a little too far out of his reach. And Matuza backhands. All the way down. It'll be an icing on Matuza, they say. Matuza awfully close to the red line. Say didn't get there. 7:44 to go here in the third period. Knights with the offensive zone face-off. Haven't had much time in the offensive zone in this third period. They'll get some here. Bamonte. Watching her. Carter watching her. To Coyle. Nice feed. Coyle shot. Save made. Cecchino. Great pass to set it up. Try to go to Smith in behind. Instead, here's Matuza. And Matuza off the boards to himself. Matuza has Muller. Matuza. Shot blocked by Coyle. Gasparic. Far point. Fakes. Dives around one. And then shielded to the boards by Michael Coyle. Zethner. Lots of traffic out in front of Guarnieri. Muller, wrist shot, missed. Gasparic. Intercepted by Coyle. Here comes Coyle. KPC have numbers. Plays it across. Onside play. Just out of the reach, though, of Watchinger. Scrum in the near corner. Or near boards, near half wall, rather. Gasparic got it on the far side. Fired it down ice. It'll be an icing against St. Anthony's. With 6:26 to go in period number 3. KPC looking for an equalizing goal. Have not led at any point in the game. And off the defensive zone draw, great play by Schechter to get through center. Could not get around Schwartz. Here comes Kevin Schwartz. Down the left wing boards. Schwartz checked on the play. Sent around by Hurlbert. Monteleone dishing out the check. Lamon smushed to the boards by Catazone. Puck available. Swiped at by Costanzo. Friars come away. Catazone working on Muller. Good poke check by Muller. Schwartz skates it ahead. Sends in, glove down by Hurlbert. And the Friar captain look to play it near off the boards to Monteleone. Jikas takes it back to Costanzo. Costanzo dumps in. Very sound defensive game played by both teams. Friars really limiting KPC's opportunities, not only for in terms of shots on goal and scoring chances, but just even setting up in the offensive zone. Not giving much time at all. But there's a nice stretch pass to Watchinger. Watchinger has been a lone exception. He's knocked to the ice by Catazone. Jikas ladled it in behind. Catazone. Vaith applying a check. Muller did not keep it in the zone. I didn't think so. Slightly delayed offside whistle with 5 minutes to go in the third. Carter Watchinger, Matthew Smith, 96 to 97 respectively for KPC, along with Bamonte and Tim Cicilla. Coyle returns it to Bamonte. Look to play it ahead. Intercepted by Monteleone, who works it into the night zone. Cicilla. Lead pass, Watchinger, cuts wide on Catazone. Looks to go through the defender, and great back check provided by number 24. That's Monteleone. Michael Monteleone, as Cecchino stops it in behind his net, plays it to the near side. Bamonte pinching in at the point. 4:20 to go, third period. Coyle. Ahead to Cecilia. Stopped up for watching her. Back to Cecilia. Catazone, a little flip. Smith with a skate in the way. Plenty of time, though, for the Friars to work on their breakout. Monteleone on the tape of DeAndrea. A little too far for Chero. Good play by Coyle coming over. And now Michael Coyle wraps it in the offensive zone. Dies along the near boards. Catazone. To Solis. Back to Catazone, and rather uneventful game. Here they got the 3 goals, couple of good saves from Guarnieri. That's really been it. Chero toward the front of the net, deflected, and a save made. Guarnieri went off the stick of Zhikas. Said you want some happenings, there's a happening. Banked ahead, out of the reach of Smith. He would have been one-on-one with Coletti. Kasparek, though, was in the area. Neuner looking to get in. Puts it in the opposite corner. Coyle to Schwartz. Back to Coyle through his feet. Ripped into the skates of Landman. Landman looking to feed the front of the net. Try to drop it to Sattler. Sattler playing it down the boards. There's Coletti. Jackson Muller unable to hold in at the near point. Kevin Schwartz. Trying to hit Sattler coming out of the zone. Pardon me, that's Muller. Muller rims it around. Lamon, 2:15 to go, third period. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan joined alongside cameraman Wally Mitchell as we approach 2 minutes remaining here in the third period. St. Anthony's holding on to a 1-goal lead. They had 2 goals back in the first and haven't needed any more. That went off a Friar stick, so no icing here. Coletti rifles it right back out, deflected by Nick Muller. Jackson Muller for KPC. Not sure if there's any relation between the Mullers. Schwartz with Neuner to contend with. Now Matuza fires it, save made. Guarnieri, rebound, score! Nick Muller's second of the game, 7th of the season, gives St. Anthony JV Gold a 3-1 lead with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the contest. And that feel like should just about do it here in this one. With the way St. Anthony have played defensively. That very well could be curtains for KPC. We'll see if they're able to generate some offense. Get a quick goal back. Cecilia down the right wing boards. Coyle with a check. There's Vaith. Vaith stops up. Area pass for Hurlbert. And Schechter a touch offside. .64 seconds left in regulation time. Assist on the Muller goal awarded to Nicholas Neuner. Kasparek. Shot off the stick of Bamonti, off the carom covered by Guarnieri. I can't drive. 55 left here in the third period. Catazone. The older folks listening in will understand that reference. If you're a fan of the fantasy footballers, you'll probably understand that reference. Jack Hurlbert. Toward the front of the net. Bamonti's stick in the way. Just lacking an offensive difference maker to kind of parse out this St. Anthony's stellar defensive front. It's what KPC were missing in this contest. As the Knights are going to fall to 11-7 on the season, while St. Anthony JV Gold improved to 13-5. Gaetano Cicchino was not tested often. He was there to make some saves when he was needed. And Chris Granieri turned in one of his best performances of the season in a losing effort. 3-1. St. Anthony's JV Gold defeat Kings Park Commack. That will conclude our coverage here in this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. On behalf of our cameraman, Wally Mitchell. What's up, Wally? Another day in the books. Another long night here at the rinks. I'm Ryan Brannigan. And until next time, folks, as always, have a good night.